What is going on, guys? MJ2005 Gundam here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the P-Bandai high-grade Gundam Shining Break before version from Gundam Build Divers Break. Depicting the Gundam Shining Break arc piloted during his days as a masked diver, it is a heavily modified Shining Gundam that retains the original capabilities while adding the standard Gundam loadouts as well as a transformation gimmick. Since the before version of the Shining Break is just a recolor, you get all 9 runners and the sticker sheet from the retail after version, with the only difference in box contents being the one sheet of paper for the new color guide. The build itself evidently has absolutely no difference compared to the retail version, heavily drawing from the high-grade Future Century Shining Gundam while adding some new armor pieces, except with that added point of caution being the dark blue armor pieces being susceptible to nut marks, especially because of the older engineering and gate placement on the reused parts. Otherwise, it's just as simple as building any old high-grade. Upon completion, you'll be greeted with a great representation of the Shining Break before version in high-grade form. There's nothing different between it compared to the standard after version apart from the Titan's blue, but who knew that this paint scheme would actually grow on me, with it evoking an eviler aura since this is the version that Arc used while he was a masked diver. Of course, with barely any trace of the original Shining Gundam, it is completely unrecognizable from its roots, which could honestly have been a completely new design. Still, the proportions are generally correct, with stickers only isolated to the eyes and head sensors, as well as the black trim on the front skirts, knees, and ankle armor. However, due to the dark coloration, the black details are barely noticeable to begin with, and honestly, this version of the Shining Break can get away without panel lining as well, though the same cannot be said for the seam lines, especially for behind the shins, and depending on the scans you look at, the blue base color used is either spot on or a few shades off. But I honestly do prefer the Titan's blue more than the dark grayish blue, so it's not something that warrants correction in my opinion. Again, I would have never expected the Shining Break to look this awesome from a mere paint swap, but somehow, the design just works to depict Arc's dark past really well. Articulation starts with a flexible and unrestricted double ball jointed head, and ball jointed shoulders that can swivel out and rotate freely. There's a movable shoulder panel, the arms can raise up perpendicularly, possess a bicep rotation, double jointed elbows, and ball jointed wrists. There's barely anything for ab crunches, while the waist rotation is restricted. On top of all the skirts moving out of the way for the lateral leg swivel, and the front to back kicks, as well as the full side splits. There's a thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and multi-jointed ankles with a tipping toe. Finally, the beam sabers can flip up and down. Altogether, the articulation is mostly unchanged from the original Shining Gundam despite the aesthetic differences, and besides the dodgy thigh rotation and loose beam sabers, the kit stays together very well. In terms of accessories, you get a set of fists and holding hands, which I guess is helpful for if you want it to go back to its roots. Unfortunately, there's no Shining Finger provided to depict the Shining Boost finger in use. As for weapons, it's the standard Gundam loadout of sword, board, and gun. The beam sabers on the backpack can be flipped up for grabs core Gundam style and can be used with the provided SP5 beams. Still never liked how the blades and saber hilts are of different lengths, but that is more down to personal taste. As for the beam rifle, it merely features a sticker for the scope and slides into the hands for use as a standard firearm. Nothing fancy. The shield though has a sliding lock mechanism that goes into the forearm armor for a solid connection. Otherwise, there's a flip out handle that can be slid into the hand for solid use in place of the locking mechanism, which is a unique gimmick, given that shield handles don't work independently 9 times out of 10. Finally, the Shining Break can transform into the Shining Berkut, its flight form. Simply lay the kit flat with the head reversed and shoulder thrusters pointed up, spin the legs outwards and point the toes down, stow the rifle handle away, and slide it into the shield, before plugging the assembly onto the backpack with the wings opened to complete the transformation. The instructions tell you to remove the beam sabers, which I don't find all that necessary. Yes, it's a Gundam lying on its belly while carrying its weapons on its back, and yes, it's a stupid transformation gimmick that is busted from every other angle except from looking at it dead on. But hey, I guess it's a good enough job given that the Shining Gundam doesn't transform into a plane in the first place. Now we come to the infamous leftovers. Besides the full head, torso, and rifle being left over from the Shining Break runners, you also get a shield without wings as well as a crotch piece and bastard. But you get a crap ton more from the original Shining runners, with essentially everything that was white on the Shining Gundam to be left over. If you have some duplicate frame pieces, or have the ingenuity to do so, you can really put all of these parts to very good use. Otherwise, apart from maybe recreating the super mode of the Shining Break, they just look like a pile of unnecessary waste of parts. Being a mere color swap of the standard high-grade Shining Break, one must ask whether or not it is worth picking this up, especially when you already have the standard version. While it is still a decently recommendable kit, whether or not you want to buy this version specifically, it's up to you. On the surface, it satisfies its role as a model kit, being a good representation of the design and a solid kit to pose with fun gimmicks to mess with. However, the ease of replication doesn't exactly warrant going for this very version, especially not for the Scout's prices for the mere P-Bandai tag. Altogether, I would not recommend getting this version of the high-grade Shining Break as a standalone, but rather a substantial kit to complement its white and red buddy. And that's all for me. Thank you for watching, drop a like and comment if you did enjoy the video, subscribe for more content like this, and feel free to follow me on social media with the links down below. That said, take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out guys, bye bye.